This video will explain everything you need to know about the awarding organisation processes, procedures and regulations when delivering BTEC Level 1/2 Tech Award in Digital Information Technology. Qualification structure. The BTEC Level 1/2 Tech Award in Digital Information Technology is structured as follows. Component 1. Exploring user interface design principles and project planning techniques. Component 2. Collecting, presenting and interpreting data. Component 3. Effective digital working practices. Components 1 and 2 are assessed through internal assessment. Internal assessment takes place through assignments that are subject to external standards verification. Authorised assignment briefs are provided by Pearson. Centres may use these briefs as they are or adapt the materials to suit local contexts. Internally assessed components are assessed using a grading scale ranging from Level 1 pass to Level 2 distinction. There is one external assessment for Component 3, which provides the main synoptic assessment for the qualification. The external assessment is taken under supervised conditions. It is then marked and a grade awarded by Pearson. Learners are permitted to resit the external assessment once during their programme by taking a new external assessment. The externally assessed component is marked and awarded on a continuum using grading descriptors set at Level 1 pass, Level 2 pass and Level 2 distinction. In order to be awarded the qualification, a learner must complete and achieve all three components with a grade Level 1 pass or above. Administrative arrangements. Centre and qualification approval. In order to begin offering any Pearson qualification, your organisation must first become a Pearson approved centre. To start the process of becoming an approved Pearson centre, visit their website and complete the relevant forms online. If your organisation is already an approved centre and would like to begin delivering this BTEC Tech Award, simply contact Pearson and they will guide you through the qualification approval process. Learner registration. Shortly after learners start the programme of learning, centres need to make sure that they are registered for the qualification with Pearson and that appropriate arrangements are made for internal and external assessment. Please be advised there are cut-off dates for learner registration. Centres can refer to the information manual for further information on making registrations for the qualification and entries for external assessment. Visit qualifications.pearson.com and search for Information Manual. From here, you can access entry and code information and a vocational registrations guide. Internal assessment. In this qualification, there are two internally assessed components. It is important that centres have an assessment team in place to ensure that all assessment is planned and verified effectively. The key roles of the assessment team are the lead internal verifier, lead IV, who will be responsible for planning, record keeping and standard setting for the qualification. The lead IV will register with Pearson annually and organise training and support as required. Internal verifiers, IVs, who will check that assignments and assessment decisions are valid and meet the requirements of the qualification. Assessors, who will set or use assignments to assess learners against the standards set out in the qualification. Note that in a small assessment team, individuals may act as both assessors and IVs. In these circumstances, an individual may not verify their own actions as an assessor. Setting assignments. Assignment briefs are issued to learners with a defined start date, a completion date, and clear requirements for the evidence that they need to provide. Pearson provide authorised assignment briefs and guidance for setting assignments. Centres can choose to use the materials provided by Pearson or adapt them to take account of local circumstances and contexts. Assessment criteria. Section 3 of the specification outlines essential information relating to the components that make up the qualification. This section contains information about the learning aims for each component, as well as guidance relating to setting assignments, the assessment criteria which determine the standard required for each of the grades available, and essential information that must be taken into account when reviewing learner evidence and making assessment decisions. Internal assessment decisions. Assessment decisions for this qualification are based on the specific criteria given for each component in the qualification specification. For each component, the specification shows how grades can be awarded using clear and unambiguous criteria. Assessors will review a learner's work and make a judgment on the standard of the work against this criteria. Once a formal assessment decision has been made, it will be recorded and reported to the learner. Resubmission of improved evidence. The lead IV is able to approve one opportunity for a learner to resubmit improved evidence based on the completed assignment brief. This resubmission opportunity must have a deadline within 15 working days in the same academic year. The outcome of any resubmission of the assignment is then recorded as the final decision. A learner who has not achieved their expected level of performance after a resubmission may be offered a single retake opportunity using a new assignment. In this case, the highest grade that may be awarded is Level 1 Pass. Full details of internal assessment requirements and operational information are given in the BTEC Quality Assurance Handbook, available on the Pearson website. Visit qualifications.pearson.com and search for Quality Assurance Handbook. External assessment. In order to ensure that the externally assessed component of this qualification is fully challenging and that the grading of the component reflects performance in the qualification as a whole, the assessment is synoptic and taken at or near the end of the learner's programme. The external assessment for Component 3 is taken under supervised conditions. The external assessment must be completed in 1 hour 30 minutes and there are 60 marks available. The expected evidence that must be submitted is explained in Section 3 of the qualification specification and also in sample assessment material provided by Pearson. Learners should be entered for the external assessment towards the end of their period of study. Learners are permitted to resit the external assessment once. Please be aware there are entry deadlines for the assessments. Sample assessment materials. Sample assessment materials are available on the Pearson website. These materials provide an example of what the external assessment will look like in terms of the feel and level of demand of the assessment. They may be used for practice with learners, however, it is important to remember that the content covered and specific details of the activities will vary in each assessment. Conduct of external assessment. The external assessment is set and marked by Pearson. Centres must ensure that learners are aware that they need to work independently. Further information on responsibilities for conducting external assessment is given in the document Instructions for Conducting External Assessments, available on the Pearson website. Visit qualifications.pearson.com and search for ICEA. Marking and awarding grades for external assessment. Pearson will mark external assessment evidence remotely. Your examinations officer will be given guidance as to how to submit evidence either to Pearson or to the examiner directly. Quality assurance. The approach of quality assured assessment is through a partnership between the approved centre and Pearson. Pearson will monitor and support centres in the effective operation of assessment and quality assurance by making sure that all centres complete appropriate declarations at the time of approval, undertaking approval visits to centres, making sure that centres have effective teams of assessors and verifiers who are trained to undertake assessment, carrying out assessment, sampling and verification through requested samples of assessment, completed assessed learner work and associated documentation. Summary. In summary, this qualification is made up of 3 components. Components 1 and 2 are assessed through completion of internal assessment briefs. Authorised assignment briefs are provided by Pearson. Centres may use these briefs as they are, or adapt the materials to suit local contexts. Learners are permitted one opportunity to resubmit improved evidence based on the completed assignment brief. Component 3 is externally assessed, and this is the main synoptic assessment for the qualification. The external assessment is taken under supervised conditions. It is then marked and grade awarded by Pearson. Learners are permitted to resit this external assessment once during their programme by taking a new external assessment. In order to be awarded the qualification, a learner must complete and achieve all 3 components with a grade level 1 pass or above. If you need any further help or guidance, please get in touch by emailing info@iachieve.org.uk.